the true nature of human beings and everything altogether is timeless awareness. The wisdom nature of all appearances. This is the true nature of everything. So it's not something that's a destination. It's already so. But for many people, there's no knowledge of that. There's no knowledge of that whatsoever. Most of us are born and then we learn we are somebody and we have to look out for ourselves and that we need to use our thinking and speaking and the qualities and activities of our life to take care of this special somebody. And so then we go about that. Our thoughts most of the time are about us, even if they're about the welfare of others. Sometimes it might be more about making ourselves feel better by benefiting others. And then the speaking is about this self as well, and the qualities and activities of the life are about the personal self as well. But all the time within us is our naturally occurring wisdom identity, which is the true identity of all human beings. Identity is just a matter, for most of us, of what is learned. So we learn about a certain identity that we have, and then we support ourselves, we think, by thinking that we are that identity, whatever it is. The history of our thoughts, emotions, and experiences. Most of us consider that to be our identity. And be that as it may, the identity that underlies all those other concepts of identity is wisdom. So the wisdom is the basis of all appearances. No matter what word is spoken or written, that word is completely empty, like sky. Words in and of themselves have no independent nature. They can't be traced back to having a nature that is fundamental to themselves, whatever they are. So we can mention any word, whatever it is. I, me, mine, dog, cat, house, tree, ocean, sky, earth, fire, air, water. None of these can be traced back to any independent thing about them that shows that they exist in their own right. So no matter what we look at, no matter what we think about, if we only know the dictionary definition of whatever that is, then we'll just be lost in all those definitions all of our lives. And that has a certain beauty in its own right, but if we don't understand the true nature of everything, then we spend our lives distracted from that true nature. We only know the definitions of the words without knowing that each of the words, no matter what they are, they have no independent nature. They can't be traced back to being able to prove that whatever that thing is exists in its own right. Everything, no matter what it is, exists due to aware space and nothing else. So many of us learn that it's our biological organism that generates mind, that generates awareness, especially in the West, and that mind or awareness is located within the skin line. And when we get familiar with awareness, we really don't have to have any philosophical concepts about that. We just need to be willing to get familiar with awareness, our own awareness that is looking and seeing and sensing everything that's going on. The awareness that is at the basis of that looking, that seeing, that sensing. Get familiar with that, which is the root of all of the experiencing. Get really familiar with that, and then there's a great understanding of everything that goes far beyond thinking and philosophizing about things. philosophy can examine, and for just as long as philosophy examines, there will be the absence of wisdom. Because wisdom is already present. It's already present. It's not a destination to be arrived at. Wisdom is already present in the absolute evidence that everything, no matter what it is empty of an independent nature, empty like sky. No matter where we look, everything is empty, like flawless, stainless, forever, empty sky. And no matter what we read or think about, that too is forever empty, exalted awareness. So if we get familiar with awareness, then we have a much greater understanding of everything, and that greater understanding is called wisdom. Plus, we also have a completely relaxed and carefree attitude about life and living and all our endeavors, no matter how high energy or low energy they may be. We can sit all day by a river or be CEO of a corporation, and whatever the life is, it's a life that is carefree and very laser-like in its ability to provide benefit wherever it moves. So these are some of the things that are very important here. Now, many times it's said, well, it's hard to make this wisdom come about. This is something difficult. It takes a lot of work. But those are just ideas that are based on thinking. Beyond thinking is wisdom. And wisdom doesn't need any systems or methods or conventional orientation to be. Wisdom, sure, thank you. Wisdom is simply so without any doing, and that wisdom is already present just as the natural ease of mind that is beyond thinking. When we get familiar with awareness that is the wisdom at the basis of all appearances, then we have tremendous love, power, and energy that come about. Love, power, and energy that isn't available through thinking, isn't available through doing. It's just naturally present without doing anything. So to try to do something to learn it or achieve it is always stepping away from it, because it's what's looking that's wise. It's what's looking. It's not a destination. If we think it is a destination, then it's likely all of our life will be working towards a destination. The ever-receding horizon of the destination, always slightly outside of our grasp. It's like hanging a gold ring out in front of us that's attached to our head and saying, oh, I'm going to get that gold ring. I know I'm going to get it. When it's already attached to us. It's the basis of what we are. It doesn't need to be gotten anywhere else. No one else has it and is going to give it to us. It's already present within us, and no one else can confirm it for us or refute it either. We're the only ones who know where we are in terms of being completely free of everything that appears. The thinking mind is very troubled by what appears or attracted to it, one of these two. And then these two, the troubling or the attraction, are what governs everything about life. So we look here and we either like it or we find it troubling. If we find it troubling, we look away. If we find it attractive, we run towards it. And this is the case, too, with our thinking. If we're troubled by it, we try to do something about it, either avoid it or replace it with some other kind of thinking. And emotions the same. If we're troubled by them, we try to avoid them or replace them with some other emotional state. When we just relax the mind completely, then there's nothing troubling in it. The mind is clear light, and everything that appears within it is clear light. It's empty of any kind of independent nature. No matter how we've described what appears, whether it be a thought or an emotion, as troubling or attractive or whatever it is, they're all entirely equal. There's no thought that is not equal in being the clear light of the wisdom mind. So with knowing this, it's easier to relax. This idea that some thoughts are good and others are bad is just a conventional belief. That's all it is. And in fact, it's a very primitive belief. We could even call it superstitious. So when we have this belief, then we spend all of our energy sorting all these thoughts and emotions, trying to get more good ones and less negative ones, when all the while they're all completely equal and there's nothing that needs to be done about them, because no matter what they are, they have no independent nature and will vanish in and of themselves like a line drawn in water. So there's absolutely nothing whatsoever that needs to be done about them. If we try to do anything about them, then we spiral into conventional thinking and conventional ways of doing things that are completely absent of true wisdom. True wisdom. We might have some practical wisdom, ordinary, everyday wisdom once in a while, but that isn't true wisdom. True wisdom is very important because it allows us to relax, just relax into the true nature of the mind. And in that relaxation, there's no struggle. There's no struggle with anything. And when there's no struggle with any of our own inner appearances, our life becomes effortless and easy. It's just relaxed and carefree in every moment. And we gain trust in that. We gain indwelling confidence that shows us that we don't need all this thinking about everything in order to arrive at decisions, that it's really the relaxed nature of mind, the totally restful mind, that is the best basis for everything. And in other words, it's the best basis for arduous intellectual activity. It's the best basis for relaxing by the river. It doesn't matter what we're doing. It doesn't preclude anything. In other words, it doesn't need to change anything at all. Whatever our own circumstances are, they're the perfect circumstances for realizing wisdom mind. If we think we need to change our circumstances to realize wisdom mind, then it's unlikely that we'll ever get to know wisdom mind, because wisdom mind is already present. And it's present as all circumstances, all appearances. So appearances, if they're attempted to be modified or changed in any way, then it's difficult to relax because we're so busy with all that activity of trying to change everything. Our thoughts, our emotions, our experiences. And even if there are things that we'd like to change in ourselves or in the world, then it's best that those changes be informed by wisdom awareness, rather than ordinary thinking of good and bad.